Picture a high-stakes boardroom. A massive project has just failed, and the tension in the room is suffocating. A mid-level manager, let's call him David, is panicking. To save his own job, he points his finger across the table and blames you. He raises his voice. He aggressively attacks your competence, your data, and your character right in front of the CEO. What does the amateur do? The amateur's ego is triggered. He takes the bait. He raises his voice to defend himself. He argues back, pulling out spreadsheets and making excuses. Within seconds, it is a shouting match. And in the eyes of the CEO, both men now look like emotional, out-of-control children. The amateur lost the moment he opened his mouth. Now, look at the elite man. When David shouts and points his finger, the elite man does not flinch. He activates the ghost protocol. He sits in absolute stillness. He locks unblinking eye contact with David. He does not say a single word. He lets David shout. He lets David expend all his emotional ammunition. Eventually, David runs out of breath. He stops talking, and suddenly, the silence in the room becomes deafening. Because the elite man did not react, David's aggression has nowhere to land. He is just a man who just threw a punch at a ghost, lost his balance, and fell on his face. The CEO looks at David, sweating and erratic. Then he looks at the elite man, calm and perfectly composed. Without saying a single word, the elite man has won. Dale Carnegie wrote, "The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it." The weak man reads this and thinks it is a lesson in cowardice. He thinks avoiding an argument means running away. The elite man reads this and knows it is a lesson in tactical supremacy. Arguing is a leak of emotional energy. When you argue, you lower yourself to your opponent's level and fight on their terms. In the TEDUY Brotherhood, we do not argue. We let our enemies destroy themselves. Welcome to the Ghost Protocol. Why did David collapse in that boardroom? To master the Ghost Protocol, we must dissect the anatomy of an argument. When a man raises his voice, he is no longer operating on logic. His ego has perceived a threat, and his brain has been hijacked by his amygdala. He is in a pure state of fight or flight. You cannot defeat fight or flight with spreadsheets. You cannot extinguish an emotional explosion with rational facts. When you argue back, you are doing exactly what he wants. You are validating his emotion. You are providing him with the exact friction his ego desperately needs to keep the fire burning. Dale Carnegie stated a brutal law of human nature that you must tattoo on your brain. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Let me translate that for the elite man. Even if you are completely right, even if you destroy your opponent with flawless logic and humiliate them with undeniable facts, you have not actually won. You have only bruised their ego. You have forced them to submit in public. They will nod, they will back down. But deep in their mind, their resentment for you has just multiplied. You won a useless battle of words, but you have created a permanent enemy who will wait in the shadows to sabotage you later. The amateur fights for his pride. He wants the immediate dopamine hit of proving someone else wrong. The elite man does not care about being right in a shouting match. He only cares about the final objective. He knows that arguing is a leak of emotional and mental energy. He refuses to bleed for another man's insecurity. He removes his ego from the equation, steps out of the line of fire, and lets the enemy punch the air until they are exhausted. You cannot win an argument. so stop participating in them. So, how do you execute the ghost protocol when someone is aggressively attacking you? You do not just stand there and take it like a victim. You deploy tactical silence. Silence is not passive. It is the most active, heavy, and suffocating weapon you can bring into a room. Here's the exact blueprint. When the attack begins, your heart rate will spike. Your ego will scream at you to defend your honor. Step 1. Kill your ego. Detach completely. You are no longer a participant in this fight. You are an observer. Step 2. Lock your physical frame. Do not cross your arms. Do not frown. Do not show anger. Relax your shoulders, slow your breathing, and maintain dead, unblinking eye contact. Look at them not with hatred, but with clinical curiosity. Look at them the way a scientist observes a lab rat running in a wheel. Step 3. Hold the line as they shout, complain, and throw accusations. They expect you to push back. They want a wall to punch. When you deploy tactical silence, you completely remove the wall. They swing their hardest punch, hit empty air, and fall forward. Dale Carnegie observed that a person complaining is often just looking for a feeling of importance. When they get angry, they want an audience. Let them have the stage. Let them talk until their throat is dry. As the seconds tick by, the silence in the room will become incredibly heavy. But it will not feel heavy to you. It will crush them. Because without your reaction to distract them, they will suddenly hear the echo of their own voice. They will realize how emotional, erratic, and unprofessional they sound. The silence will force them to defeat themselves. You do not need to lift a finger. You just need to hold your frame. They have burned through their adrenaline. Their throat is dry. They are looking at you, panting, waiting for the counterattack. They expect you to fight back so they can justify their rage. But the counterattack never comes. Instead, you wait 3 more seconds in absolute silence. Let the uncomfortable quiet sink into their bones. Then, you speak in a voice that is calm, quiet, and completely controlled. You ask a single devastating question. Are you finished? Or is there anything else you need to get off your chest? Checkmate. In one sentence, you have framed their explosive rage as nothing more than a child's temper tantrum. You have not insulted them. You have not raised your voice. Yet, you have completely neutralized their power and established absolute dominance in the room. Dale Carnegie said, "Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say, 'You're wrong.'" The amateur thinks this means agreeing with everything. The elite man knows that telling someone they are wrong is amateur hour. Letting them humiliate themselves and prove their own incompetence in front of everyone is absolute mastery. Do not waste your energy on men who cannot control their emotions. Arguing is a trap for the weak. Let them burn their own house down and then quietly take the land. If you are ready to drop your ego, stop arguing and become untouchable. Type "I am the ghost" in the comments. Welcome to the TEDUY Brotherhood. Subscribe to the channel, master your emotions, control the room, and stay cold.